And then I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and get it started for you guys as well. So you guys can see that just fine.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right, sweet. So I did this presentation, I don't know, maybe 2 years ago with Brandon's team, but I just found it here. I was like, I think this is a pretty good one for us. It allows us to go over a couple of things about not just what being a realtor is, but how they're so similar to being a leader as well. Because again, even though you guys may not realize it, say for instance, if you're a parent, you're in a leadership position, you know? If you are again a realtor and you have clients and you're guiding somebody through the buying process, you put yourself in a leadership position. They're following you. You know, we're not following our clients. They're following us through the process because we're the ones who were guiding them through that process. Same thing with being a parent, right? Most of us are parents here. I mean, what does that even mean? Being a leader if you're a parent? Yeah, well, pretty much you take on the role of like the example of how to be a person in a society, right? In a community, how that works, right? You can go out there into the middle of nowhere and maybe survive if you know how to survive out there. But for the most part, we're social beings, and our our existence, our actual survival requires us to actually work together in order to survive. I mean, take a child, take a baby, right, who's born into this world. They're absolutely vulnerable. They have no way to survive on their own. What do they require? They require somebody, hopefully their parents, to care for them, love them, nourish them, raise them. And so they get to the point where they can go out into the world and survive, right? Basically, if you think of it at the most basic level, it is survival. But we don't want them just to survive, we want them to thrive, right? Because survival is like the minimum of what you gotta live and go through in order to just get by. We don't want them to live just based on based on the basics of survival. We want them to be happy, right? We want them to have abundance in their life, not just abundance of things and money, but abundance of happiness and good experiences, right? And so how do we really create that for our children? Well, we have to be that example. Your children rarely ever do what you tell them to do. They usually do what you do, right? I'm sure you've noticed that. You tell them not to curse, and then you go over here and saying shit, fuck, and all this stuff, and you hear them saying shit, fuck, right? I'm like, well, I told them not to curse. Well, they don't really do what you tell them to do. They do what you do. They follow in your steps, basically. And so, if you can be the example of someone who is successful, who lives and thrives in their life, then you increase their chances of them being that way as well, right? Because you take on that leadership position. And so, let's get into this. Realtors are leaders. Two qualities we all need to possess, right? And so I get into an introduction here really quick. What is a leader, right? Or actually, what leaders are, but more specifically, what is a realtor? So we're not salespeople, right? Don't think of yourself as a salesperson. I don't personally. I don't like salespeople, especially those like those typical salespeople who are just kind of annoying and greedy or whatever. So that's how I think of a salesperson. But we're not really salespeople. We're not really trying to sell things. We're actually trying to guide people through a process. Realtors guide, assist, and advise clients in a real estate transaction, right? I can't force somebody to buy a house, you know? Maybe I can really persuade somebody to buy a pair of shoes or whatever, but a house, no, of course not, right? So as realtors, we do take on many roles. We have to kind of know a little bit about the contracting side, right? Specifically, the home, the structure of the home. Therapists, right? We have to sometimes manage their emotions. This is a very emotional process for a lot of people. It can be very stressful, okay? Incredibly stressful, not just for you, but just for your clients, right? And so we have to kind of like guide them through the process. I think the reason they get stressed is because it's kind of like they're going into the unknown, right? They don't really know what's really happening. And this is the truth for most of these, for most of them, or sometimes even all of them, is like they don't really understand the process. They don't understand the loan process. They don't understand the other processes the real of real estate that we go through, and that whole not knowing for them is very scary and it can be very stressful for them. And so it's really up to us to establish confidence within themselves and the faith that things will work out, right? And no matter what does happen, we'll figure it out, right? And it can get kind of messy during these transactions. So you really have to establish this therapist type of mentality where you can manage their emotions. Because if you don't, they can make some stupid decisions, like like pretty much cancel the contract when that's not the best decision for them, right? Just because they get emotional about it. We have to translate sometimes. I work with a ton of Spanish speaking clients. Translating these contracts and documents is something that I do a lot. Teacher, we teach them, we educate them on the real estate process. I love educating them. I love explaining what's going on. Hey, this is what's going on with the lending process, okay? Because this is the reason why it's going on, because there's certain rules and policies, government laws, because this is a government loan that they need these documents. Sometimes they ask me, why does the lender need my bank statements? Like, it's just a part of the loan process. It's not like the lender wants your bank statements. It's the bank wants your bank statements because they have to verify income, verify certain things. That's why. And you can choose not to give it to them, but they're not going to give you a loan. So, like, do you want to buy this house or not? Like, I have to speak to them like this sometimes because they're like, why are they asking for this? Like, it's not because Richard wants to just have your bank statements. No, it's because the bank is asking for the bank statements because it's a part of the process of getting your loan. And trust me, I've had to explain this to people because they get weird about their finances. And I get it, we all do, but if you're getting a loan and the bank needs these things and it's just a part of what they need, dude, either you're going to give it to them and they give you a loan, or you don't give it to them and you don't get a house. That's just the way it works, right? And so guiding them and teaching them and explaining things to them is very important. I love educating my clients. I don't like leaving them in the basically in the shadows where they're like have no idea what's going on. I don't like that. I like giving them updates. Hey, this is what's going on. This is what we're going to be doing here. This was and so forth and so on. And so that's what I like to do. And that's what you should be doing as a realtor, by the way. These are some qualities the realtor should have. So um, ultimately here, leaders are versatile. Like this is something that leaders do. The fact that you wear many different hats as a realtor actually translates perfectly to leadership because a leader has to do all that stuff and more, right? Managing emotions, educating their their followers or their people, their team, or whatever it is that you want to call them, right? I call them soldiers because I was in the military and that's how I see them, right? You guys are basically my soldiers, right? That's how I see you guys. No, but so, and you have to take on all these different roles because a leader isn't someone who's looking out for themselves and has a bunch of people serving them. No, no. A leader is actually there to serve their people. That's what a real leader is. And it's sad to say, but it's the truth. Our leadership right now in government, and I'm not just talking about our president, I'm talking about like a bunch of other people that are in there are not leaders. They're looking out for themselves and that's it. And they sacrifice our tax money and our freedoms just to get what they want. And it's a terrible thing that needs to change and it will be changing. At least I believe it will be. Great leaders serve their people and look out what's best for the people. They don't look out for their best interest. And as a realtor, we can't look out for our best interest. We are fiduciaries. By law, we have to look out for the best interest of our clients. You know, it's illegal for us to look out for our best interest, right? So the leadership is very versatile. So we're going to get into the first quality. So the first quality that we need to have as leaders, which we already do have as realtors, and I want to make this very clear to you guys, is we're committed to never-ending improvement, right? As realtors, we have to continuously be learning and growing and learning about the market, learning about what the real estate process is, learning about all this stuff. In real estate, things are always changing. So we're already committed to always learning and growing and learning more about real estate and everything. But this is not just limited to real estate. This is across the board, right? You should be continuously learning new skills, learning more information, not just about real estate, but maybe about how to control your own thoughts, maybe about how to manage your emotions or how to manage stress. You know, this committed to never-ending improvement, great leaders are continuously sharpening their skills and learning new ones. I've already told you, if you really want to be successful in this world, you have to continuously learn new skills. And these skills allow you to handle bigger problems. And as you can handle bigger problems, you get compensated more money. All right. And this is how it works in life. We've already talked about millionaires. They can manage and deal and solve multi-million dollar problems. Billionaires, they can manage and deal and solve multi-billion dollar problems. This is why they get compensated accordingly. Okay. And so as realtors, we deal with these problems, right? There could be $500,000 problems. Sometimes if you're dealing with $1 million properties, it could be multi-million dollar problems. And you get compensated accordingly because you solve these problems, right? But you can only really solve these problems as you develop your skill set. So don't ever stop developing yourself. Don't ever stop learning new information. And don't ever stop developing new skills that will help you, not just in real estate, but in your overall life. So right here it says reading and video. So every day you should be learning something, or it should be committing to like reading a little bit, right? Have an example here. So schedule learning time daily, weekly, right? So examples, read 30 minutes per day. If it's only 10 minutes per day, great, read 10 minutes per day. If it's 15 minutes per day, okay, cool. Read 15 minutes per day. You just put the timer, you pick up the book you're reading, and you read. Right. So watch one YouTube video of a topic slash skill you want to learn. Right. This is great. YouTube has hundreds of thousands of videos. And there's tons of videos on pretty much any skill you can think of, right? If you want to get better at negotiation, cool. Look up negotiation, skill videos, education, right? If you want to get better at, I don't know, public speaking, cool. How to get better at public speaking, speaking in public, education, learning, whatever. You can basically learn anything you want to learn. You want to learn how to play the guitar, videos, right? YouTube. And cool, there you go, right? And the bottom one is a 10-month seminar per year. I did send you guys a link probably a few weeks ago um, for a type of seminar that's going to be here in the springs. It was incredibly cheap. At least when I sent it to you, I think it was like a 50% off or something like that. And I got some tickets for Fedra and I. And so we're going to be attending that. I think it's next month. Um, if you guys are interested in that, I can probably find the link again and send it to you if it hasn't sold out yet. But you have some interesting people speaking there. The person that I really want to see, and I can't remember his name, but this is a man that was born with no arms and no legs, and I can't remember his name. It's not coming to me, but I've seen a few of his speeches and stuff like that, and it's incredible. I mean, absolutely incredible that this man who who was literally born with no arms and no legs has been able to accomplish as much as he's accomplished in his life. I mean, and a significant disability, and here he is, fucking travels the world and talks to people about the things that he's done and tries his best to inspire people to go out there and do more, especially people like us who are blessed with legs and arms, right? It makes you feel kind of dumb sometimes. It makes me feel dumb. It's like, dude, I have arms and legs. This guy has a significant disability. He's accomplished more than I have. Like, this is not. Come on, I have to step up my game, 100%. Like, and that's why he does what he does because he knows. He knows. You know. I know there's another dude. I don't know his name either, but I know he has Down syndrome. This is a man who has Down syndrome. He's already an adult and everything. This guy's fucking a multimillionaire, bro. This guy makes tons of money. He's a businessman and he has Down syndrome. It's like this guy's literally missing a chromosome. but he's out there fucking building businesses and doing stuff like that. I was like, man, another significant disability. To not have a chromosome is a significant disability for anybody, right? So this is your genetics, right? And so I'm excited for this seminar. I'm excited for him more than anything. There's going to be other people as well. I don't really know these other people personally and haven't heard of them, but I'm sure they're going to be great as well. And so they're going to be talking about a lot about different things. It is kind of a spiritual one. If it is at a church, but I think that has a lot of really good messages as well. So learn what you want. You can learn anything you want to learn. Okay, any skill that you really think about wanting to get better at, dude, there's books out there, there's videos out there, you can learn what you want. Public speaking is one of them. If you want to get better at speaking in front of people, but then learn about public speaking, right? If you want to learn how to play an instrument, then learn how to play an instrument. Whatever it is that you want to learn, just go ahead and find videos, find books on this stuff, and just start reading on it, right? This is something that I've heard many times. If you read 5 books in one topic, say it's finances, and you just really finds the 5 best books in finances, and you read those 5 books, you will end up becoming one of the top people in that industry. That's what people have said. You will know more about, say, for instance, finances in that topic than most people, than like probably 90% of the population and 95% of the population. That's how powerful this is. Choose a topic and just focus on it, and then learn it, master it, and then go to another one, right? So it's all up to you, really. You can learn anything you want to learn. Experience. So learn something new from every deal. So every deal you're gonna have, you're gonna learn something new, right? Every deal, I'm telling you guys, every deal I've had, I've always learned something new, right? I recently, not recently, but when I was doing this presentation years ago, I was going through some probate issues. I've never had to deal with probate. Probate is weird, right? I had to be talking to, I had to get a hold of probate attorneys, right? And at the same time, I was dealing with a senior citizen. I was like, I've never had to help a senior citizen buy a property, and I did, and it was a very different experience, right? Because they're older, they're a little slower with certain things, and to get them to get comfortable with the technology, it's just a different experience. Again, the experience and the things that you learn is very different for every deal. It can be about the contract, it can be about the title work, it can be about the loan process, right? It could be about um, probate. It could be about anything, but or it could be about managing people, managing their emotions. It could be on the inspection side, learning certain things about the structure of the home and how that works. It could be about maybe you're dealing with new builds and you're going through that. It's a very different experience. New builds are different than regular just pre-owned homes, and you write in the contract because the builder has his own contract and all this stuff. So the process is very different with a new build than it is with with the pre-owned homes. I'm telling you, every deal you're going to be learning something new, and you should be open to learn every time you're dealing with any client. So the second quality you want to establish is uh, just having a vision as a leader. Leaders are visionaries, right? So great leaders are optimistic about the future. They anticipate the future to be full of opportunities. They paint the picture for those they lead and set the path. Leaders do this all the time. Okay. A leader sets the tone. A leader pretty much maps out the process for you guys. And they help you anticipate what may happen in the future. But not just that, they're usually optimistic. A great leader is usually optimistic. A terrible leader is pessimistic, right? Oh, everything sucks and everything's going to shit, so we shouldn't even try. Imagine those are my lectures every day with you guys. It'd just be terrible, right? All of you would leave. Look, being optimistic about the future is the best way to approach it, because why be pessimistic? Especially if we're getting better at understanding that we are the creators of our own future, right? If you have a shitty ass future, it's because you created that shitty future for yourself. It's just the reality of the situation. Whether you believe that or not, that is the truth. And hopefully you got to slowly believe that, because I get it. Just because I told you guys this doesn't necessarily mean that you guys fully believe it. Because I need you to believe it at a subconscious level. Once you believe it at a subconscious level, that's when it's a reality for you. But you still not believing it subconsciously, but you want to believe it consciously, it's the beginning and process of it all, right? It's going to take you time to really understand that you are the creator of your own life, okay? And all the lies that you've been fed that you're not, that the circumstances of your life are not really determined by you, but they're determined by other factors, is the lie, is a huge lie. That's not the truth, right? Great leaders understand this. They understand that they're in control of their own future. That's why they express this. And they're optimistic about it because if you want to have a great future, then you have to be optimistic about your future. It's not, I want to create the great future, but life sucks. Everything's terrible. Yeah, well, good luck with creating a great future with you because it's not going to happen because you're so fucking negative, right? So you have to break that. They anticipate the future to be full of opportunities. Opportunities, dude, we have it here now in Colorado. We have a ton of opportunities. The market here is great. I love the way the market is. I don't care about interest rates, and most people don't, right? Some people can't afford because of the interest rate, but those who can afford, they will buy a house 100%. Okay. They will buy a house. They will buy houses. There's plenty of people buying houses now, which it tells you what? It tells you that the interest rates don't matter. Some people right now, realtors and lenders, are so caught up with interest rates that they're destroying their own business. They're pushing away clients. And you can hear it in their voice. You can hear it in their speech. Listen to them. Oh yeah, interest rates. Oh man, yeah, they're just so high. It's just no one's buying. Like I hear this all the time, and I'm like, dude, I'm fucking busy. Like I've been closing, I have like almost 40 some deals closed personal this year. It's been my best year yet. And why? Because I have been completely optimistic about this year, 100%. And every year that comes, it's like it's going to be the best year yet, the best year yet, the best year yet. That's my approach. But listen to them. Oh, interest rates, yeah, they're just too high, and like no one's buying them. Like, dude, you're destroying your future, bro. Stop speaking this way, you know. But this is how they've been conditioned to believe. This is why I chime so much on this stuff because I need you guys to fucking believe in your future, and I need you guys to be optimistic about your future. And I try to do my best as a leader to paint the picture for those for all of you to set the path so we align our path together. I'm optimistic, you're all optimistic, right? We have great opportunities in the state, amazing opportunities. You believe that as well, and you follow suit, right? You just follow me. I'll lead you to the promised land. No, whatever, right? No, but the truth is, this is what great leaders do. They create a great vision for their followers, for their team, for their soldiers. Okay, so please understand this. This is important. Okay. And then right here, I have pictures of a bunch of great leaders. You have Brandon Christian up there in the corner. It's a great picture of him. He hates that picture, by the way. I always use it in my presentations. And it cracks me up. But I know you have great leaders. These people have set paths. They might not have been the best people ever, but they were some good leaders. They led people into significant paths. And they've done great things in the history of our not just our country, but for 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 people overall. So right here, how are you providing vision to your clients? This is important. Now, when I gave this presentation back when the market was so crazy that it was a pain in the ass. It was insane. I mean, the interest rates are 2-3%. Everybody was buying a house. All homes were getting 5 to 10 plus offers. And to get somebody under contract, my God, you had to go on there aggressively to get somebody under contract. But I had a great year that year, you know? And for a couple of months, I didn't get anybody under contract. It was 3 full months. I didn't get anybody under contract. But even though I didn't, you know what I was doing for my clients? All I was telling them was, hey, look, the market is the way it is, but trust me, the home that's for you is waiting for you. Okay. All we need to do is continue to go out there, look at property and submit offers. That's all we need to do. Let's just keep going. Trust me, you'll find your home. This is what I was telling them. And we were looking for months. And I had a ton of people in the market in my car. I was probably putting in like 5 to 6 or more offers every single weekend. I was putting a ton of offers. And none of them were getting accepted. But all I told myself was, I'm gonna explode. I'm gonna explode with production. This was all of December of the end of 2020, end of 2020, January of 2021, February of 2021. Those 3 months, I got nobody under contract. Nobody. And I was busy as fuck. I was incredibly busy. And people were so discouraged. And I gave this presentation because I knew that they needed it. I knew that what was fucking them over was their own mentality. It wasn't the market. Okay. How like you have to understand this. You have two people, right? Two people, two realtors in the same market. One realtor is fucking killing it, closing 4, 5, 6 deals a month or more, and they're busy and they're making money. And you have another realtor in the same market, okay? And they're not closing anything. What's the difference? Right? This is what you need to ask yourself. It isn't the market. They're both in the same market. The difference is the mentality. All right. And you have to understand this is so important. And I know I talk about this all the time, but I need you guys to fucking get it in your subconscious and live by it. The difference is always going to be the mentality. The person who wasn't producing anything was pessimistic about the market. Oh, there's so many offers and it's so hard. And unless you have a ton of money, you can't get it. You know how many people I got under contract during this time with down payment assistance, and we were pretty much paying what the house was worth? Like I got a ton of people under contract. Why is that? Because my mentality attracted that into our existence. And not just that, I was coaching and I was also mentoring my clients to have the same mentality. They would tell me when we go into contract, I would have my clients tell me, "It's okay. We'll keep looking. I know the house that's for me is waiting for me." They would tell me. I was telling them that first, right? And then they would tell me this, even though we didn't get them under contract. That's a fucking leader right there. Okay. You have to get good at this. How are you providing vision to your clients? Okay. In this market, it's going to be interest rates, right? Yeah, you're going to pay a bit more. Got it. The main thing I want to focus on my clients is this, and I tell them this. It's like I want to make sure this monthly payment is comfortable for you. I get it, interest rates a little higher, but I'm going to do my best to get you as much money as I possibly can from the seller, so you can use that to buy down the rate. Getting $10,000 isn't very difficult. I've done that several times. So we can use that money to buy down the rate. Okay. So you still have to put your down payment in. If you have to use down payment assistance, okay, we can't buy down the rate, but I can at least I'll get some money to pay for your closing costs. Okay. And so you can buy a house with no money, and you're buying a house at a fair price. Okay. When the interest rates are 2, 3%, yeah, I get it. They're 2, 3%, but a $400,000 home, you would end up paying 450 for it, and you would end up paying $50,000 difference yourself cash because the house was only worth 400,000, and the lender could only give you 400,000, and you're still paying your down payment, and you're also still paying your closing costs. Okay, it was a pain in the ass to get people under contract back then. Right now, it's easy, it's fun, and I can get you a fair price, and I can get some help from the seller for you. I think it's a better situation. So we just need to make sure that the monthly payment is comfortable for you. Because right now, a $400,000 home is about a $3,000 payment. Okay, and that's a lot for some people, but there's a plenty of people out there that it isn't. And you have to just kind of convince them. Look, how long have you been renting? Oh, I've been renting for 20 years. Dude, you need to get yourself into a house and get into a house now. The prices are only going to keep on going up. Like unless you want to pay rent for another couple of years until interest rates go down. But then once interest rates go down, prices are going to be higher. And on top of that, you're going to have competition because everybody's going to start buying houses again, like a ton of people. So getting in now, if you can qualify now, we get you into a house where the monthly payment is comfortable, it's a way better opportunity for you. It really is. This requires you to understand the market. This requires you to explain things to them. This requires you to educate your clients. And this requires you to look at the positive stuff. There's always negative things to look at, always. But you have to focus on the positive things and what's beneficial for the client. Because the benefit for the client is to stop renting because they've already rented for 20 years. What are they going to rent for another 20 years? Like, what the, like, no. Like, think about all the money they fucking threw away in rent the past 20 years. It's, it's a shitload of money. Like, let's get you into a house now, right? This is how you create the vision for your clients. You have to kind of like give them the vision of that future, of what it looks like, and the process of buying the house, and why it's a benefit now as opposed to 2 years ago when interest rates were super low. It's better now for these reasons. Yeah, it was better then because you got a low interest rate, but it wasn't better because you're overpaying for these houses. Everybody overpaid. If somebody bought a house about a year ago and they're trying to sell it now, they're not going to make any money. They're going to lose money. They're not even going to break even, okay? Because prices adjusted. And they paid a lot more for their house back then than they paid now. They paid 450. Your house is worth 430. Yeah, bro, I can't sell it for more than 430. I'm sorry, and I know you paid 450 for it. We can't even get you to that point. So it's it's actually better now. It really is. So get good at this. How are you providing vision to your clients? It's a tough market, but you must still be optimistic about the process. Okay. And this is back then. Right now, personally, from what I see, it's not a tough market. I think it's a great market personally. And so picture, so you can't give your clients what you don't have. And this is what was happening back then. All these realtors in Brandon's office, this was back then. I was still a realtor when I gave this presentation with Brandon. Those who weren't producing, they were negative about the market. Oh, it's so difficult, it's so hard, it's just so competitive, and unless they have a ton of money, they can't buy a house, and like that. This was their attitude, you know. And as a result, they weren't closing any deals, and they were stressed out of their mind. And I was like, how can you provide an optimistic vision for your clients if you don't believe in that vision yourself? I can't give you anything I don't have, okay? I can't give you any experience that I don't have. I can't give you guys any type of like positivity or optimism or any of that stuff unless I possess it myself. I can't sit here negative and be like, come on, guys, you have to be positive and go out there and do great stuff and shit like that. I can't like even if I said it, my voice and the energy that I put out with my voice wouldn't reflect that optimism. You know, you question like, does he really feel this way? And you guys know exactly what I'm talking about, right? That's what was happening with these people. They didn't know how to create a good, positive, optimistic vision for their clients because they were so caught up in the negativity. You can't give to others what you don't have. You can't give to your clients what you don't have. If you're not optimistic about the future, optimistic about them buying property now, because a lot of them were like, well, I feel like I'm not doing my client a favor because they're overpaying for property. This is what they were saying. Well, fuck, if you say that, then yeah, of course you're not going to get anybody under contract, right? Subconsciously, you feel like you're not doing them a service. For me, I felt like I was doing them a service. I was getting them into a house at a 2% interest rate. Now that is awesome. I know they're paying 20, 30, $40,000 above asking for their house, but at least their fucking interest rate was 2% and their monthly payment was $1,500 a month. And if they were going to be selling within the next couple of years, they're going to be fine. You know, if this was an investor coming in trying to buy a house at full price and then hopefully trying to sell it later on, I probably wouldn't recommend it. But if you're buying a house where you're going to live in there personally and you're going to be making the monthly payment, that monthly payment is very, very comfortable for you, and you have the cash and you're willing to pay the difference in the price and the value, then let's go. Let's get it done. Okay. That was the difference between me and some of those negative uh, realtors. And all the realtors who were doing great, they had the same vision as I did. They had the same understanding of the market as I did. And so what about now? Oh, I don't feel right because interest rates are so high and I don't feel like I'm doing a service to my client. Like, okay, great. Now you're fucked. You're not going to get anybody under contract and you're not going to close any deals because you don't feel like you're doing a service for your client. I do though, because I'm getting them for a fair price. I'm helping them buy down the rate as much as I possibly can. And I make sure 100% that the monthly payment is comfortable for them because you're doing a disservice to them if you're getting them into a house or force them into a house where the monthly payment where they know and it's not good for them. They can't do it. Where they're gonna be stressed out every month just to make the monthly payment. I wouldn't do that to them, you know. But I get them the best price, and I always make sure to get money in their pocket. And that's me doing a service to my client. So understand this affects you. Your attitude affects everything. Okay. Because if you really do feel like you're not doing a service for your client, you're never going to get a client under contract, and you're not going to close any deals. And that's what was happening back then with these agents, because they felt bad that their clients had to pay so much more for a house. But it was like I wasn't focused on that. If they're willing to pay for it and they have the cash, let's go. And let's get them a great interest rate. One of the best interest rates will probably never again in the history of mortgage be as low as they were back then. Never. Okay. This is not just what I think, this is what everybody else thinks. Okay. That was an anomaly. That was not normal. Okay. Interest rates normally are pretty much where they are right now. This is a normal interest rate, 6.5 to 7.5 to 8%. It's pretty normal. Okay. And so it's just people got comfortable back then with that interest rate and they think that's how it should always be. No, it's not. Okay. Interest rates have been up to 12, 15%, even 20% sometime. Okay. Can they go up there again? They possibly can. But will they ever go back down to 2%? Hell no, people. Hell no. That's never going to happen again. At least not in our lifetime. Anyways, so let me go to the conclude here. We're all leaders, so think like one. Okay, think like a leader. Even though you may not think you're a leader, I'm telling you right now, you are a leader. Thoughts are things, and you become what you think about all day long. You become what you think about all day long. Okay, so if you're thinking about negative things, then you're negative, right? If you think about positive things, then you're positive, right here. If you think negative thoughts, you produce negative results in your life. If you think positive thoughts, you produce positive results in your life. This is reality. We are our thoughts, okay? The quality of your life is just a result of the quality of your thoughts. Stand guard at the gate of your mind and do not allow destructive thoughts to enter. Be careful with, I've talked about this many times, be careful with what you think about. And on top of that, be careful with the type of information you expose yourself to, right? Don't expose yourself to negative information. Don't expose yourself to information that's destructive, because it destroys your thought process. And a destructive thought process destroys the great future you're trying to create for yourself. Traits of a good leader: self motivated, humility, care for others, self awareness, emotional intelligence, self discipline, passion, resilience, accountable, supportive, tech savvy, integrity, ability to delegate, communication, self awareness, gratitude, learning, agility, influence, empathy, courage, respect, empathy again, innovative, honesty, active listening, self-confidence, vision, delegation, decision making, problem solving, fair attitude, inquisitiveness, empower others. Okay, these are just a list of some traits that great leaders do possess, and great leaders, they possess all of these qualities. Okay, and more. And so hopefully through this presentation, you guys have kind of got a understanding of what I mean by how realtors are leaders. Let me go ahead and just stop recording.